Hey everyone, so I have a few tips here for when picking out substrate and when putting it into your tank here. So first tip is how much to use. So this will sort of depend on the size of your tank and then also the shape of your tank. So like a standard rectangular tank will be a little bit different than a bow front tank. But for the most part, general rule I use is somewhere around half a pound to a pound of gravel per gallon of tank. So for instance, this 36-gallon boat front tank here I am setting up, I used around 30 pounds of this Starry Night gravel from Walmart. And you can see this has a decent amount on here. It's not exactly evened out right now, but there is enough in here to plant plants or stick in decorations and stuff without them sticking out of the gravel. So somewhere between half a pound to a pound of gravel per gallon of water. The next tip I actually have is shop around for your gravel. And near me, PetSmart and Petco charge somewhere around, I believe it's 25 bucks, 25 to 30 bucks actually for per 20 pounds of gravel, depending on what gravel you get or sand or whatever. Whereas Walmart and actually Meijer both have not as big of a selection, of course, but they do have actually 20 pounds of gravel or 25 pounds of gravel for only 20 bucks. So 25 pounds for 20 bucks compared to Petco PetSmart of 20 pounds per 25 bucks. So kind of the opposite way there. So shop around for your gravel, especially to sometimes you can find them at PetSmart, Petco on heavy sales. Then it's even better price. And now, like I said, I bought mine from Walmart. It is called Starry Night. I actually really like it. It's just black with the speckles of colorful rocks in there. Then they also have a natural looking one that you can also buy. So yeah, so shop around for the best price on gravel, and to make sure it is actually aquarium safe. So you can go to some stores that do not sell aquarium gravel and might have stuff coated on it that could get your fish very sick. So make sure it's actually aquarium gravel. Another piece of advice here then is, this might even be the biggest one, is to rinse out your gravel, your substrate, if you're able to. So gravel like this is very easy to rinse out. I take a bucket, I stick it in said bucket, and I rinse it out the best I can. And then it is usually good to go. It'll still be a little bit dusty, but it works pretty well. If you have something like sand, that is a lot harder to rinse out because you'll lose a whole bunch of it. Just do the best you can. Just rinse out maybe once or twice and then move on. Because if you do not rinse it out, what could happen, depending on the type of gravel, the type of substrate, the brand of it, is it could be very, very dusty, very, very dirty. And then when you stick in your tank, stick in the water, it'll just make your tank look really nasty. But if you rinse it out, at least somewhat, it should help with that. And of course, if you do just stick it in your tank, stick it in the water, set it up, and it is nasty, having a filter, of course, will help pick up all the nastiness. It'll take it at least a few days, though, to clear out your tank. But yeah, rinse out your substrate if you're able to. And then another piece of advice here is going to be, especially if you have a tall tank like this, 36-gallon bow front, hopefully you guys can see how tall that is to actually use something like this beta cup. This is a cup that the betas come in from the pet store. Use this to scoop out the gravel. So if you do something like me where you rinse it out in a bucket, is to then take this, scoop it out of there, scoop it into your tank. That way, if you try to lift this up and over your tank, you might smash into the tank itself, break your tank, which would be a horrible thing. And not only that, if you lift up your bucket of gravel or even the bag of gravel and you just dump it into the tank from the very top, like from the very, very top, you could crack the bottom of your tank as well with the gravel. Probably not likely to happen, but it could, especially if you use big stones. You just don't want water going everywhere, or a broken tank, I should say. You do not want a broken tank from doing that. So again, I just use a little beta cup and scoop it in there. I think that works out the best. Hey, if you guys have any more advice, leave a comment below. As always, I really do appreciate you watching. Hope you have a good one. Happy holidays. See you next time. Goodbye.